Voronezh, a city in southwestern Russia. Surrounded by forests, rivers, and the long memory of war and famine. It is a place of beauty, but also of bone-deep winters. And in the bitter cold of the early 1940s, when hunger was more common than bread, a series of chilling events would blur the line between legend and reality. Children began to vanish. Not in war zones, not in battle, but from the snowy streets of Voronezh itself. The culprit? Wolves. But not like any wolves the villagers had ever known.
In the dead of winter, wolves typically avoided human settlements. They were shy, elusive, terrified of fire and man. But in Voronezh, during the harsh wartime famine, that rule broke. First, it was a cow. Then a dog, snatched from its chain. Then, in the silence of twilight, a child. Taken in broad daylight, near the edge of the woods. Locals were paralyzed. Tracks in the snow confirmed the impossible. A coordinated pack had entered the outskirts of the city and returned for more. Unlike the wandering lone wolf or starving rogue, this pack was organized and seemingly deliberate in its strikes.
Why now? Why Voronezh? Historians and biologists would later suggest a terrifying theory. The war had disrupted ecosystems. Wild deer and smaller prey had been hunted out or fled. The wolves, starved and desperate, began watching humans, and learned. The famine had made humans vulnerable. And to a predator starving in the snow, a child was no different from a deer. The wolves no longer feared fire. They no longer feared noise. They came at dusk. They came in silence. And they came with purpose.
Local militias, farmers, and soldiers armed with old rifles set up patrols. Night after night, they tracked the wolves' prints in the snow. Some hunters never returned. Those who did spoke of eyes, dozens of them, reflecting moonlight from the trees. Not attacking, just watching. One patrol swore they saw the wolves move in formation, cutting off escape, like soldiers in battle. And then, when the gunfire began, they disappeared into the woods, leaving behind only footprints, and sometimes bones.
Even after World War II ended, the people of Voronezh remembered. For years, children were warned. Don't go near the forest. The wolves haven't forgotten. The official records remain vague, likely covered by the chaos of wartime. But survivors, old hunters, and their grandchildren still whisper of the winters, when wolves came down from the trees. Not as animals, but as something more.
What happened in Voronezh was not just nature turning on man. It was nature reshaped by war, hunger, and desperation. The wolves of Voronezh were never just wolves. They were a mirror, reflecting back the fear, the destruction, and the breakdown of the natural order during wartime. It wasn't just a story of hunger. It was a story of evolution, of intelligence, and of darkness that walks on four legs. And in the forests of Russia, some say they still remain.